Session 97.
Work.
So, continuing your delve through the Digensian tomb below Mersenia, you all fought through a sort of guardian of that space, a war priest, and then accessed a way forward, and then interacted with a horde mimic and its many children or allies, these many horde scarab creatures. Um, Communicating with it, you chose to spare its life and its coin that it had gathered throughout its life in exchange for learning a secret of the dungeon um, that revealed a secret portion of the structure which you are currently investigating. Uh, Pushing through that additional portion of tomb scene, you finally, after some prodding, investigating, discovered a means of carrying an invisible mote of golden flame by looking through and attuning to the mask of the war priest. There seems to be a single additional room to explore ahead, which Telperion and Roulette saw houses a 12-foot tall golem of ancient wood and pure gold plated metal composing its form, and it's just standing in the middle of a great wide beam of light from the ceiling. So you guys are all continuing to or now starting to wrap up your long rest as no threats are seeming to assault you at this time. So as you wake from that long rest on Sundas, 15th of First Seed, though you're not maybe exactly sure what hour it is, how do you all want to proceed?
Nothing quite like waking up without the sun in a dungeon.
It would be really great if I had some sunlight right now.
Oh, can't you cast that spell to make sunlight?
Oh, wait a
Uh,
minute.
Did you pick your spells?
what?
Did
No.
you pick your spells? Uh-oh.
But also, no, I cannot do that. I do
So,
not have that spell.
I would like to strategize for a moment before we do anything. First of all, we didn't actually solve this riddle here, right? Like we never we
Um,
read the
you
language
see
behind it.
Toby doing this, like, and you
Oh,
can
you did
tell
grab
that
it.
I'm
Good.
tossing the little flame back and forth.
Can we see it?
No.
No.
You guys see him just like tossing something back and forth. You hear the faintest little noise of like a flickering flame in his hands, but is fully invisible, creating no warmth or light.
All right, so whatever he's doing. Um,
We have to shepherd well.
for anyone choosing spells or strategizing right now, we are going to fight this, or hopefully not fight, maybe fight, whatever's in there.
Perform this task.
We have this task to do, and there may be threats still in front of us, but we are going to be emerging in or near the prison and trying to rescue my father and the armies. And then I imagine arming them if possible and using them as a force from the interior. And maybe a little warfare, maybe fighting a Talon who is on the other side.
Yeah, we're trying to make a weak point for the armies to break through.
So I don't know that we need much stealth.
As I'm prepping this dart, do we want invisibility or do we want the jumpy jump or something else? Those are just my top two.
I think both are going to work well, and we can adapt any plans around them. So I'd go with your instinct.
Okay, invisibility it is.
Visibility in the dart. Those who need to prepare spells, so to a degree, Telperion, you might have a choice or two to make, but
Oh.
mostly for Rome and Toby, want to make sure you guys' spells lists are prepared for the day. Like the previous day, your next long rest might not be super reliable. Roulette, I forgot that you can prepare as well. I figured they were locked in place, but that's just not true. So
Yeah, they are.
so sorry for being dismissive of your capabilities.
I dropped Gift of Alacrity for Disguise Self, and that's all the deciding I need to do.
DM, do I remember from earlier in this dungeon fire damage? Were these things the previous thing that we just fought? Are they like immune to fire damage?
You saw at least the War Priest harmlessly floated through a wall of fire, and I
that's
think
true.
there was another instance of fire at some point that just waved past that individual.
Okay.
The Templar, I don't remember offhand if you saw that capability of it.
But my wolf's radiant damage did nothing to it.
So whatever we deal with here, we may want to just do it as strategically and low resource maneuvering.
Well, I think we're supposed to place this flame in that thing's hand.
Yeah. So, well, it said shepherd well, or is that what the Dragonese said?
Yeah. Which I imagine means there's going to be a challenge for us to get it there, if that's where it's supposed to go.
Was there a door on the other side of this next room? I forget.
There was a passage.
Okay. Because I'm wondering if like the goal is to just get through the next room. I mean, I'm assuming something will happen as soon as we bring that fire into that room, because that thing might not be what we're giving it to, but might be trying to get the fire from you.
Yeah.
Hurting it.
It might have something.
Like, what exactly are we hurting the flame to?
Don't
know
entirely
tonight.
know. So we can just wing it, or we can try and scout before we take it with us. Do a quick there and back, see if maybe we can clear out some danger.
I think we gear up for a fight against something big, and we saw light coming down from the ceiling, right?
Mm-hmm. You and Telperion both saw a great, wide, 30-ish foot diameter column of bright light shining down directly onto the golem, and
Rome,
the golem looked pristine.
Rome, do you have that stone wall spell again? You might be able to use.
Yes. Yes.
Do you
100%.
Can that go on a ceiling?
Ooh, you mean like coming down off the ceiling?
Or no, so like if there's a hole in the roof in the next room, like if we could just like, is it possible like patch that up?
Like a.
Let me consult my notes.
My brain. What?
I mean, it doesn't say that it has to be like on the ground. It just says panels. So I would think that in my notes, I would think that I would be able to like patch a ceiling up with it
I like
to
that.
block that light.
I mean, the way you constructed it last time too would work. Like if you want to make it come out, go above or something like that, we could. Because I think if that's going to cause a bunch of burn and damage on us, we might want to block that out.
Yeah.
I will say don't do that too quickly, because I don't want to make you use that spell in case we need the light for whatever shepherding purposes we have.
For sure. I'll have it readied.
Otherwise,
Feels weird to have everything refreshed and recharged.
that was a wonderful night of sleep.
Like I'm just sitting here thinking about all of the different things I could do and what would have.
So many
Uh,
options.
Toby Rama, you did fully attune to the Mask of the War Priest, and you are not attuned to the staff at this time.
Correct.
Okay. And then we should go ahead and hop zooms.
Oh baby, oh baby.
So do we just go for it?
I think so.
I've got loaf out.
I'm going to. How long does that last? 10 minutes. Okay. Cool. Do I do shield? Or do I do bow? Because I can now do 2 attacks.
Have fun with that while you're wearing that mask in this dungeon.
Yeah.
I start moving. I'm personally like going slow because I'm like looking at all my spells and just getting everything in my head, and I don't know if other people are doing that. Like, is this a natural pause or if we're waiting for someone to start moving?
I mean, both. I think it's time to start pushing forward.
Well, I will go ahead and move us all to the next screen now, something I think only Telperion and Roulette had seen previously. But you all approach down this long corridor. It goes maybe 80 to 100 feet forward and then emerges into this wider open square space. Probably 20-foot tall ceilings here. The golem in the center, 12 feet tall. This wide column of light coming through what looks like maybe cracks in the ceiling. So it's not like a vacuous hole per se, but definitely like portions of the stone ceiling are cracked and dilapidated and allowing a lot of light through, similar to other instances throughout this dungeon where that's been the case. But you are all
How high up is
welcome
it?
to 20 feet tall.
Okay, I want to fly up to the top of it and peek out.
You want to
Light?
approach the middle of the area and do so?
So no. How tall is the ceiling? Like where the light?
The ceiling is 20 feet tall.
Yeah, the hole in the.
There's no
Again, it's
hole.
not. Again, there's no hole. It's like cracks in the stone ceiling. So it's like there are slivers of holes throughout. It's like a fractured, the way glass would fracture. So there's light spilling through a portion of the ceiling, but you'd have to get closer to inspect that.
Gotcha. Okay.
But you are welcome to go closer if you would like.
Sure, I'll fly up to the ceiling and not getting into the light, but just approach the cracks and try to peer through them.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check.
Oh boy.
Hey, double dig.
With a 14, you peer toward the cracks, but with the way the light's coming down through them and very bright, you can't tell if it's natural light on the other side or some sort of magical instance creating this phenomenon. You know that the latter has been the case in a couple instances in this dungeon so far, so you don't get any sense that it's natural versus magical necessarily. But
All right. I'm casting Blade Ward on myself, and I'm going to just skirt along here. Kind of perceiving, being careful, trying to see if my presence here activates anything.
as you're walking or moving, however you'd like to describe your motion through the space, the golem is just completely static. It's scimitars, its 4 arms wielding 3 scimitars, and then its 4th hand just outward like this, and its helmet is sort of like a shell of a helmet with a backing, but the front of it is like a vacuous hole that like empties. It darkens as it goes seemingly into its center. But it does not move whatsoever in recognition to your presence.
What does this thing on the map look like?
I would say those are columns that go the full 20-foot height.
I thought there were like holes like that or wells like Pippin would drop a body down. Jesus. I telepath to Toby. Do you want to try putting the fire in that? I was thinking I could have Loaf land on it just to see if it attacks before you approach, but also you approaching with the fire might.
I'm also probably going to be the only one to resist what is going to be quite painful of stepping in that light. I'm imagining.
Ooh, we could send in Shadow Moby first. Silence. Okay, Shadow Moby, go ahead.
If you're okay with Canary in the coal mining list.
Alright, I'm gonna
throw
throw Shadow Moby to head on into the light.
Is that your unseen
Okay.
servant or your wraith or specter?
That's a good point. Your specter probably diminished over the course of the long rest.
Unseen Servant, 1 HP.
Okay, perfect. As Shadow Moby enters the light, just disintegrated immediately upon contact with the radiant light.
Okay, definitely dangerous.
Liv would die.
I just because I've done this in the other rooms. I'm gonna have Daisy help me, and I'm gonna take out the big mask, and I'm just gonna point it towards the middle. Is the guy down in like a pit? Is that what I remember you saying, or is it like
No, it's fairly flat
Okay.
Across this space. You take out the mask and angle it toward this creature, and the highly reflective surfaces on this creature scatter the light, and then everyone, including the golem, begins to be
Ooh,
illuminated
it's like a disco
with
ball.
golden flame.
so like I'm standing behind the mask and I'm lit up?
Yeah,
'Cause some
yeah.
of it's-
The mask isn't big, although it's a larger than normal shield size.
Yeah.
You're not able to get full cover behind.
It's like Link with the big when he's child Link, but he has the big reflective shield.
Does holding the mask where I am and looking up at the statue, does the mask look like it's like the same size as the gaping hole in the?
No, the
Okay.
statue you carved this from is actually larger than this golem.
Okay.
So the golem's face is definitely smaller, and considering its very large form, its head shape is fairly humanoid in form.
Gotcha. Looks like a Koopa from the Super Mario Brothers movie. Yeah.
Perhaps.
Can my handful of flame, if I toss it, what does it do? Does it fall back down to my hand? Does it move a bit and then stay stationary? How does it interact with me moving it around?
If you toss it, you feel a resistance as if you're tossing a small ball, and it does fall back to you. But if you reach out into a space and like intentionally place it somewhere, there's like a strange phenomenon where you can feel it sort of adhere to that point in space.
Very cool.
And I will say, as part of that, you can get the sense that you are fully capable of throwing it as if it were a mote of flame, like golden, like produce flame, the cantrip.
I'd like to try something, everyone. Well,
Do it.
I was thinking about trying to toss this into its hand. But again, I don't know that this is the thing we're supposed to be bringing the flame to.
Should we like just check out the
The
next
room.
room?
Oh, that's a
First-
good idea.
Okay, so you guys head toward the far end of the room, which Telperion had previously seen. There were there's a large relief doorway there, very ceremonial and ornately carved, and you can see it's a door because of the way there's a seam down the middle of these two large stone plates. But once again, there's no emphasis of like there's no pegs indicating like a tablet key. There's no real keyhole per se to this space, but you can clearly see once again it's a depiction of what looks like a certain people on the left hand and a certain different populace of people on the right hand, and they're all like reaching upward into the sky, but there does not seem to be any
nowhere to
object
place a
there's
flame.
no object of their attention, where many have been like, oh, there's these round circles representing moons in some of the reliefs. There is not that depiction here. Toby Rama, do you approach it? You just haven't moved your token, but
Yeah,
do you get closer
I'm
to
gonna
that area as
start
well?
Skirting, holding the flame, keeping
Okay.
a very back and
As
forth
you
eye.
move through the space, the golem's head just slowly rotates and follows your exact location wherever you move.
As Toby gets behind it, does its head like
Full owl. Yes.
like owl?
Yes, absolutely. It does not seem to move. It doesn't grip its blades tighter. Nothing about its posture changes. Its head just swivels, keeping a bead on your location.
Toby, leave it and leave the flame in one place and see if it's just looking at the flame or you.
Oh yeah, what? Can you put the flame down at all?
Yeah, so I'll like move here, and then leave the flame in that space, and then like go here.
It seems transfixed on the location of the flame, not necessarily you.
I wonder if the flame becomes visible in the light.
Also, Toby Rama, as you approach this direction, you can see very clearly a small, maybe 6-inch diameter hole in the center where the seams meet each other of these two large stone doors.
I don't think invisibility is going to help here, because it seems to know where the invisible flame already is. So part of me thinks just either throw it or try and book it.
So,
Well,
I don't
if
think
we-
it's. I think once I place it there, something's going to happen.
Yeah.
We'll have to survive for an amount of time.
Do we want to preemptively block out this light up above? Or do we think doing that's going to be bad?
I think wait to see what the light's doing and then
Okay.
make the judgment call on burning the resource. I mean,
You know, it's
I'm on
damaging,
board.
but
Wasting.
if we can just skirt around it, then yeah.
Skirt!
So we have to shepherd it well. This is going to open a door.
so putting it in the door is going to open the door, we think.
Yeah, and I doubt that's the full extent of shepherding it. So
Wait,
I
we
think
think
something's going to follow. Yeah, oh, you guys can't see it. There's a big hole on the door where this flame would fit, and I have a feeling open the door.
Are you talking about, this is a critter question, it's like the door on the north side of the screen?
This door,
Mm.
there's no slot for the flame.
Oh, okay, Toby didn't go over there, that's why I was confused
Yeah,
by
I'm
what
just-
Yeah, I just awarded him with that information as he started approaching that direction. He could tell there is a hole in the middle of that doorway. Although there's no like light coming from behind, so you're not sure if it's a deeply thick door or if it's
Yeah.
something's obfuscating vision or reflection through, but there seems to be, to your view, Toby Rama, 5 or 6 inch diameter hole in that door of darkness.
Should we just try that first?
I think the obvious thing to do is to put it in the door. I think the interesting thing to do is to put it in its hand, because that might appease it. I feel like if we put it in the door, it's going to attack us or something.
Shepherd will.
I think it's got to go to the door. If we give it to the thing, then like, what's it gonna do? Like,
What
is
is
it
it?
gonna open up the door for
Put it in
us?
his face and think about the people that used this place. Were they using him as a god or as a servant?
It feels very guard-y, but I'm confused why
For
it
whatever
hasn't
this aspect.
activated already.
Because we
I mean,
haven't
that's
put
what makes it
flame
feel like.
in the hole yet.
I think once it goes in the door, it goes.
Do we want to vote? Do we want to flip a coin?
We gotta get
off,
some
but
big bed sheets
Well,
in the
this is-
future so we can cover stuff. Write that down.
This is the dungeon of democracy. Bed sheets.
I say try and toss it to its hand, its outstretched hand.
But then we're gonna have to get it back. Can you tie a rope to it first?
That is a excellent question.
Can I grab a random arrow and see if it starts burning if I like stick it through the flame?
I was wondering
Yeah,
if you could split it.
As you do so and you hold it to that, yes, it catches flame and the arrowhead falls off, separating from the small bit of wood. So you have ruined one arrow.
That's also a good point, Telpiran. I'm gonna try and grab it with two hands and see if there's a pull apart action as part of this flame.
As if you could duplicate it, like
Or like give
separate
one
it,
section
like
to the door, one section to the guardian.
understood. As
Like
you
a lot of
try
wood.
that, you just feel it's just energy. So like you're not really able to separate it, more so than choosing which hand is sort of
Okay.
bearing it, or both hands bearing that mote of energy.
What do you think, Roulette?
I mean, I think we should try the door first, but I don't know. This fella here is gonna do something.
All right.
The hole in the door was revealed by me looking through this mask, so I think the door is actually the better option. So
Go
I'm
for it.
changing my vote.
Agree. Roulette, can you write down rope that can't burn too?
Yes, and she writes down metal wire.
I was also thinking, well, what if it was metal too, so it was even stronger than rope? And it was like a metal rope.
Yeah, I say.
Do we have chain?
I
Do
have
we think we'll
metal
need to
wire.
book it after the door opens, or do we think we need to clear the
Think-
space of the door for an explosion?
I think we gotta kill this guy.
I may maybe stand back a tiny bit from the door.
I wish I could think of a way to.
I'd say just try the door first.
I can't think of anything.
Everyone kind of back away from the door, just a little
Oh.
bit.
I'm gonna pop Loaf out of existence.
Okay.
And then, sort of, in turn order, I'll bonus action cast Shield of Faith on myself. And then action try and affix the flame in the hole on the door.
Okay, so you begin concentrating on that effect, and you throw it in, place it in, reach in.
I think I set it so that I'm not reaching my hand into anything. I'm just kind of flushing my hand against the door. and
Gotcha.
Kind
You
of
can
pushing
feel
the flame in there.
the mote of energy just stay sort of connected to your hand as you press it up to sort of the surface of that space.
And then I try and tell it to stay there or to affix itself there.
You're welcome to let it stay in that space, and you pull your hand away and it stays in that space.
What is Tin Can doing?
Yeah, what's
Its head,
Campbell's up
its
to?
head is locked onto that space where the flame is.
I have to explain. I need that soup.
Nothing
A
happens.
turn goes
yet.
by.
Okay.
I was sitting there like doing a little Blade War dance. Like I just keep PG-3 style. Like I got nothing else to do.
Yep.
Can I? Does it feel like there's depth to that hole?
It does.
Is there anything in Draconic written around this?
That's a great question too. As I walked through the room and certainly at the door, do I?
I would say
experience any
no,
writing?
there hasn't been any draconic text on this doorway. It's mostly artwork. relief.
Where's the hole in relation to the relief? Or is it above where the people are
It's
looking?
directly along the seam, and it's like bisected by the seam, and it's at roughly an average person's shoulder height. So Tobirama is like maybe having to reach up very slightly and reach
Oh.
in.
And are the figures on the relief looking up at that point? Because you said
They
were
are not.
Okay.
It is kind of centered between the two people, and they're looking upward towards some non-existent source of attention.
Toby, how?
Another turn passes.
I got 10 minutes on my Shield of Faith. I'm not too stressed.
Okay,
about
okay.
time.
I was wondering if that
One
was a
as
minute
opposed to
duration.
10
Okay.
minutes definitely matters.
How far back does that hole go?
Oh, You want me to just stick my arm in there?
Push it in.
Is there any visual? Does it just look vacuously black?
It does look like a vacuous black hole.
I will take out my spool of 500 feet of wire or whatever. How many? I think it's 250 feet of wire. I will just thread it into the hole just to see if I can poke the back of it.
Okay. You do so. With your passive intelligence, you get the sense that it goes 25 feet forward before hitting anything, and then you are able to pull back.
Do we think we need to fill this with water or something?
Give it to Soup Boy.
Yeah, I'm not sure this is the right thing. We don't have any.
Goes that far back?
Oh, maybe water comes out of it.
I'm wondering if this is if we need to get light in there, some like reflected light, like we did in the earlier chambers.
Ooh, that or like, the waterfall last time came out of the wall.
Oh, true.
There's no water in this room. And I don't think anything here says we need to create it.
There could be though. Yuri's like itching.
There could be though. Oh my god.
Itchy trigger. Finger.
I'm gonna Kair. I think the flame has to go in the creature's hand. But I will Kair a shield. A reflective,
so
a metal shield. It's not a mirror, but and I'll Kair it here to see. I have a shield.
Oh.
And I'll Kair it here and try to when you got your cell phone in the sunlight and you just play with where you can angle it. I'll do that.
Gotcha. Yeah, it can cast a couple reflections loosely in some directions. Not as strong as, let's say, the Ocarina of Time mirror shield per se. But you can angle it so it casts reflections in certain directions.
Toby, I think we might just need to hand this off to that gentleman down
I
there.
will say also, you do see steam rising from the shield, and it is being damaged in the process.
Pull it back.
Oh, guys, I can see through stone again.
Can you see through this door?
I could if we wanted me to.
Oh no! Don't use it right away. Let's save that.
Give it to the golem.
Toby, I say hand it off. See if that gentleman will open the door for us.
I'll grab it. And he hasn't turned, so I will.
His head is affixed to the doorway where you plucked the
I
golden
will
flame from.
saunter toward the front of him,
Saunter.
and
His gaze fixed on you the whole time.
I will try and gauge how close I can get to the light.
Yeah, you're
without being
you're
hurt.
cutting it close, but
Okay.
we'll say the faint line of orange around the middle white is roughly the edge.
Oh man, this will probably hurt, but hopefully for me it'll hurt less.
Wait, Toby, try and toss it first.
Throw it.
I will.
We got like
It's
a
gonna be consumed. I
metal
will
pole.
try and toss it into the golem's hand.
Okay. Not a particularly difficult endeavor. As if produce flame, you're able to just sort of lob it the 10 feet distance ish, and it just kind of falls where you want it to and just hovers over its hand.
Describe Toby's throwing motion. Does he shoot it like a basketball? Baseball pitch.
No, it's
Does the back,
very
does the back come up?
Behind the back toss.
Yeah.
very underhand. Just
Cornhole.
yeah.
Bags.
There's a little spin to it.
Well, you got it to its destination that you intended.
Well,
It's based on the way its head. It doesn't like look down now, but it is looking dead ahead
radially-
where it
radially,
was.
yeah.
Put it in his face.
How are we gonna get it back though?
Yeah, I have to now run in there to grab it.
We got a metal pole. Got any weapons that are
Was
really
there
long?
anything else of note about the golem's description? He had an outstretched hand. He's got the several arms.
Other than it's
Oh.
like what I would describe loosely as plate armor being seemingly cast from pure gold and highly reflective, its other parts of joints beneath the gold plating is similarly ancient looking wood like material, similarly to some of the statues,
Right.
masks in this dungeon, the cuirass of the Templar, etc. And actually, as you look closer, it looks like the same exact sort of scales of bark that the Templar was wearing.
Depiran, do you have any long weapons?
All right, I got a spear. Actually, I mean, I've got a lot. We have also a whole
Toby
whole-
Rama, I'll also say. No, never mind. I'll hold on that for a minute.
Debbie, maybe you could get it back with the big long pole. Maybe if you're holding the pole, maybe you could like get the flame on it.
I think his hands are magical while he's. I'll give you the spear of the fire snake, which is a spear that I took from the. Well, actually, is a javelin? How long is a javelin?
5 feet.
Give you a javelin.
I'll give it a shot. I'll try and kind of extending the reach of myself. Try and when it passes through the flame, try and mentally say affix to this item, and see if there's still a command being afforded me to the flame.
I will say you are unable to fully reach the mote of flame without injuring yourself. As you're trying to reach forward, you can see the steam coming off the damaged javelin as you're reaching forward, and you can feel the radiant light threatening to sear your hand as you reach forward. That won't be quite enough reach.
Any
Rely on
blades or
big
halberds?
metal pole.
Oh man.
Ooh, like a
I
telescope.
I do have a glaive.
Let's try that. That's longer, right? Because I don't think a spear is a reach weapon.
This is a reach weapon.
So
I think you're
yeah,
just going to destroy this glaive, but
we'll buy a new one.
hand it over.
I will try and repeat the process.
You are able to reach, but no affixing takes place from the glaive to the mote. And the glaive was in the beam of light for short enough where it hasn't destroyed the glaive, but you can see it's like rusted in spots.
So it's sitting in the hand.
In the hand.
It's just hovering over the space where it landed.
How high off the ground is the hand?
We'll say 7 feet high.
Maybe it's because you didn't put it in the hand.
Sure.
You need to put it in its face.
We'll say 6 feet
Like,
high.
let
You
it
guys
teach you
are
in there to do it.
roughly able to see level with its hand.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to be able to not get hurt to start this. There's no hole in its chest that needs a power source. There's no. Perhaps
There seems
more
to be
obvious.
a hole. There seems to be a hole in its face that continues further into its chamber-like interior, but not chest specifically.
Maybe that like is what starts it up. You put it in there, let it roll down. I think
Can you work out exactly where it is? Since we can't see it.
Yes, it's not touching its hand. It's kind of hovering right above it. I was trying to get it to toss it into its hand the way that I've been maneuvering it without completely like touching it physically.
Got it.
And you think that it needs to be like inside of this creature?
Well, we'll try. Yeah, maybe.
There,
But
we tried to put it in the door, but it looks like that door extends much further than we thought.
All right, Toby, get yourself ready.
Is there anything else I can do to help myself in this?
Well, he's thinking. I'm gonna try to hydro pump it just to see if I can like affect it at all with water, and then try to gust it. See if I can affect it with
Ooh.
air.
Okay.
Blow it in.
Hydro pump activated. You coat and wet the gauntleted hand covered in gold plate and ancient wood. Nothing seems to happen, and as Toby, you glance at it, the flame is not extinguished. As you cast Gust, same exact situation. You don't even see the flickering flame of it blow in the magical wind.
What happens to the water in the radiant light, though?
Is it like steam away?
Yeah, it probably steams a bit, evaporates.
Okay, Toby, come here. I'm gonna take out.
But not fast enough where it didn't impact the hand.
I'm gonna take out the Dragon's Tome. I'm gonna rip out one of the more recent pages. Blaspheme! And an empty minecart is going to appear. Telperion, do me a favor, help me with this. And I'm gonna flip it upside down.
Try and hold it over me.
I am going to, the way that I'm picturing this happening, I am doing like, you know what a good morning exercise is, where you just stand legs straight, hip bent over at the hips. I am going to.
I have an idea. What are you doing?
What?
I could, if Toby gets in there, holds himself against it, and braces, I can levitate the thing upside down and it will cover him, and then I can hover him over the flame. He can scoop it up, and I can put it in his head, and then I can levitate you up.
Do that.
I get it like sideways,
I like
so
this.
he
I like
can.
this.
If he scoots in there, is there like enough like mooring on the sides of the interior? Like, is there?
I'll say it has to be angled a little bit, but yeah.
I'm also gonna.
We're horizontal Jack Sparrow Pirates 1 where they're under the canoe underwater, but
That's
we're
what I
like
pictured.
walking horizontal, protecting Toby in an umbrella from light. Sure, you can give him enough full cover by doing that. Are you intending to utilize your telekinetic movement for this? The cart is rather heavy.
Yeah, I'll use telekinetic.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
I will also, because this lasts long and will be good anyways, I will cast Death Ward on myself.
Okay. Shield of Faith still active. Death
Yeah.
Ward activated. Telekinetic movement when you're ready.
Yep. So I will look at Toby, kind of focus, and I will also get the.
We'll physically move the cart over here.
The cart, so the cart's next to him. Yeah, and I'll
Yep.
get a little closer so I can witness this better. And I will curl him so it's halfway there, and he's kind of like braced in there, and then I'm gonna, so I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna levitate it up to the guy's hand, so
Yep.
you can give him enough time, wait till he scoops it, and then levitate it higher so we can put it in his face, and then I'll scoot him back out. So kind of like
Okay.
a loop.
So I'll be. Because I can ready the action. I don't know that I can ready more.
You guys going for it?
Yeah, I'd like to.
Okay. Telperion, you trigger your telekinetic movement. You have one action duration of rounds to, I think, facilitate this, unless it specifies a certain
Always.
duration.
Is it action?
Over the course of this action, a couple seconds, you shepherd it forward, and Toby Rama, you get close enough where you can go ahead and reach free object interaction. You feel the connection to the flame and are able to pluck it. You will have to throw it up toward the 12-foot tall vacuous hole in its helmeted top of body head. But do you want to go ahead and do that? Launch
I'm
this.
waiting for Telperion
flame?
to lift me up higher.
I was planning on like if he has enough that he can brace himself to like literally be in it.
Okay,
That's-
interesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Like I'm pushing against the walls of the cart.
Okay,
That's why I was lifting it up so he could put it in the face and then back down.
I gotcha.
Kinda like a
I gotcha.
triangle.
Go ahead and make a strength check,
I
Toby.
had a feeling it would be strength.
Athletics if you need, but I don't think that
No.
is any different for you.
I should have hammered a foothold into there.
I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about we could have used the immovable object, but I don't know.
7 is not good enough, so
Yeah, you just feel the cart being lifted up from around you, and you sort of slide out from under it, and so it's still shepherding, like it's still sheltering you from light overhead, but you're about to not go with it.
I will shout some trigonometric functions of proper force pushing to give him an 11.
and I'll do I
Oh,
want to add
actually,
the D8.
no, I'll push you up to 11 specifically because of like rock climbing stalls of just like how to properly
Brace.
stick yourself in one spot is where I'm going with that.
Okay, so you're at an 11.
And I'll bump that to 11. Yeah.
I wish we thought you had guidance.
Yeah, and I didn't want to drop my Shield of Faith too early. I mean,
Oh.
not that it's really doing anything. The D8 would be nice. Inspiration would be nice. Luck point would be nice. The luck point's so rechargeable. I kind of feel like using it. So I shall. And I will
Okay.
roll another
Sure.
D20.
Okay.
I don't know how to show this properly. I rolled a natural 20,
Hey.
which means 19, which means 23.
23.
Roulette's
Yeah,
help.
still a critical success plus Roulette's help. Roulette, your help changes it from a 7 to a nat 20. Perfect. Yeah. So at the last second, you feel the friction slipping, but then you get a better hold of yourself, and you are now going with the cart. Telperion, with you raising it, Tobirama, you have the opportunity to dump that mote of flame into its head space. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, I'll even try and thinking about the door and how it's got deep depth to it. I will try and like with what seems reasonable to me, place it inside its head.
As soon as you place the fire within its head, you feel it just siphoned from your hand into its internal mechanisms, and you can just feel the heat waft through like an engine has just lit, and you see little bits of radiant light peeking through little bits of its joints and plate, and it fully stands up. Its arms de-lock from their position and hold out their swords. Its single arm continues to rest outward in front of it, but I need all of you to roll initiative as it has clearly been activated in some way.
Just open the door, that's all.
Lisa, open the door, sir.
Whose initiative? Oh, ship!
Oh, big poop.
Oh,
How did I roll a 0?
why did my initiative not add 2?
Because you crit.
Yeah,
Are you
now
not
that-
wearing your shield or something?
I'm
I don't know.
wearing it on my back like I normally do.
Oh yeah, that's
And also,
true.
like, the +2 is just for my dexterity, so I don't know why
I'll
that's
get you up.
applied.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, wait, mine did the same exact thing.
Oh yeah, I see yours is 3 with nothing added.
I
Same
don't
with
know.
It should have plus
Okay.
2.
Oh, 5.
Roulette's.
Yeah, why would it do that?
I don't know.
Well, if you guys want to, if we want to confirm everyone's initiative count, we can go through the line and modify. So Toby, yours is showing as a 20.
22.
Okay, yours should be 22. Telperion is 18, correct?
Oh.
Yes.
Rome 3, what should that be? 5.
Actually,
Ooh,
no.
that's it.
+1, Telperion?
this is not correct because I just checked and that's just my straight roll. It didn't add.
That's
it's
what
not
we're
adding
saying.
our initiatives.
It did a straight roll for everyone.
That's what we're figuring out. Yes.
Not for me.
Yeah, not for Jiria, not for the golem.
Oh. Mine should be 3.
It's very bizarre.
Roulette should be 3.
Broken.
Something ain't right.
All right. Well, we will hopefully be able to troubleshoot that along the way.
Switching zoom.
Switch zooms. Alrighty. Well, at top of initiative, Telperion, you're welcome to make a quick tactician change if you would like.
Yeah, I will bring up Roulette to before me.
Oh,
We're all in order.
Roulette before you.
And Rome,
All right.
next 10.
Wait, why is it Shag?
Yeah, I
Stallion?
see the Shaggy.
I think you
icon.
clicked on Shaggy behind you,
And
not
clicked
specifically
on-
Jiri, when you rolled initiative.
oh, I guess I'm gonna what was
Or
the
G
group? So
I'm sure you rolled it from Jiri's thing, but you probably clicked Shaggy's
I'm
token.
gonna I re-roll and then you change it.
Sure. Should it still be that 13?
Yeah, 13. Gracias.
You bet. All right, Toby, looks like you are the first to act.
Was there any finality to where you moved the cart, Telperion?
Honestly, back to a starting point.
Okay.
Because, well, I don't. That probably was the 30 feet.
There and
Yeah, I'll
back.
say the activation process of this golem could have taken 3 seconds, so you're able to retreat to where you were by the time initiative is really starting.
Dude, I love a good telekinetic movement.
I love a minecart.
That was a great item to have. How's that minecart looking now?
Rusted on the
Post.
back.
Uh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do
Yeah.
a diagonal bounce to there.
Okay.
See if there's any swipey from the golem.
There will be. As you move backward, it does have its reaction. It's not surprised, so it will swing out with one of its scimitars.
19 AC.
24 to hit. And as it's slashing, it's catching the light of the Degency
Oh!
light beam, and it's being lit on fire. So it will do 15 slashing damage and 7 fire damage.
Nothing's not going to leave that aura.
I got a charge back, but I wasn't down, so I shall indeed. Mist will scatter as it slashes through an illusion, and I will use it.
Okay, so that forces it to mist,
Yes.
correct? And then you become invisible.
The mist.
Boom. And then from that spot, I will back up 1, 2, 3, 4.
No.
Maybe not quite
Okay.
much. Maybe more like there.
Okay. As you run invisibly, you see its head continue to follow you.
And then I will fire off a bow shot at it.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Am
Go
I
ahead
an
and
unseen
roll.
attacker? It sounds like I am not.
You are not an unseen attacker in this moment.
So let's go. Boom. Plus 10. 3 plus 10 is 13. I don't think that's going to hit.
A very harmless ting off gold plate metal.
And then what is the terminology? I can make a weapon attack as a bonus action when I use the attack action. 5 times. I'll do that. With some added speed that is not common to you guys seeing Toby fire off arrows. I pull out another arrow and fire again.
Perfect. Go ahead. and
Nice,
roll.
nice second shot, Toby.
I rolled the same thing.
Gee.
Oh,
If that's not the first turn, you get to use your cool new item.
First, it's right pauldron, then it's left. You're barely missing some wood that you think you could better impact in its center.
Don't sacrifice accuracy for speed. Real 2020 or hindsight kind of advice.
I will
God.
place my back to this column, and that's my turn.
You guys know, like,
Okay.
here. Nothing.
Roulette, you are up.
Hindsight loon song. Okay. Immediately regretting my choice for the wand. And I am going to take out my full power Vortex Warbler. And I'm going to cast Vortex Warp on Golem Boy.
Oh, frick.
Okay. It will make a con save.
It is a DC 17. Hold on, I want to confirm because it might be 18. Scheisse.
I think it's 17.
I'm down a charge.
The ring is +1.
Oh, shit.
It is 18. And I will
One.
confirm.
18. You feel the resistance to your magic as you cast this spell.
Frick.
And it will succeed.
I mean, it's a golem, so I was expecting a high con. Cool.
Plus 11?
Cool.
Oh. No
I-
con saves, anybody?
It's a meaty bitch.
But is
Damn
it
it.
charismatic? But I don't know that.
Bonus action. I don't think I have any bonus actions to use.
I just want to silvery barbs that, but it, like,
So rebarbing a plus 11 is it's a choice.
because
It's a
it
choice.
1 through it's like a 25% chance.
Yeah,
of,
1 through 6 works. 7 and higher doesn't.
I'm not. Those odds are horrible.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do anything. I will.
Make you little girl.
I will have Daisy hold her action to cast
Oh no, you guys are stuttering for a
on
second.
the next. What the fuck? Need to reset.
No,
the
I think
router.
you're good. You're good now.
I will have Daisy hold her action to cast invisibility on the next ally who is about to strike, about to attack.
Bonus action commanding her to utilize interact with a magic item, basically. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
So can you specify your trigger for me again?
The next time an ally is going to make an attack roll, essentially, whether it's a spell attack or a melee attack.
Cool. Okay.
So, yeah, basically, I have to give them unseen attacker.
Yeah, that's very
advantage.
cool. I like it. All right, will that do it for roulette?
End of turn. End of list.
Out of I'll ask that when it's relevant. End of turn. Perfect. Telperion, you're up.
I'm gonna look at it. And I'm going to try to mind sliver it.
Okay.
Finger up the temple and then commanding the word for pain in its mind.
Is there a minimum threshold?
No, it says a creature.
Okay. Then it will make its save.
15 int save.
Minus 4.
So that's 3d6.
3D.
I think it's 3d6. So negative, and I'll hold the d4 to remind myself that it now has a negative off of its next one. So 10 psychic damage.
You guys are stuttering again for a second as I want to say something, but we'll just hold for a second. Hopefully they're good. Here's this motion. You reach into its mind, and you
10
feel
psychic.
that there's no resistance. You're able to get in and enact your damage, but in the way of like clapping in the middle of a cave, although there's like an effect, you can feel that it's not affecting this situation, and it is immune to your psychic damage.
All right. But does it still get the d4 on its next saving throw?
Maybe if that's not tied to the damage, if it says something about if
It
it's damaged,
says,
then that happens.
Or It must succeed on the in save or take 1d6 damage and subtract 1d6 from the next saving throw it makes before the end of your next turn.
What is the
I
1d6?
will say since they're I think those are separate things, not tied to because it's damage the D4. So I'll say the D4 penalty still applies.
Love it. And then I will use my bonus action to throw, or no, I'll use my second attack to just throw a regular old javelin at this thing.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
I will make him invisible just to.
Okay, go ahead and roll with advantage, Telperion.
I rolled 216, so 25.
25 hits.
Oh.
It is not a magic weapon, correct? Flies as straight as you want it to. Ping! Harmlessly bounces off the golem.
It's resistant to psychic damage and non-magical weapons.
It's immune to something.
Immune. We've learned a lot so far. And then I will
Rome, we might need lights out.
bonus action and push it 5 feet away from me.
Okay.
Strength save 15 to end this turn of dudding.
With a 14, you know yourself so well, and you know that's enough force. But as if it's rooted in place, it is immovable, cannot be moved against its will while animated.
Incredible. Oh.
This thing is the anti-Talperion for the record, and then I will end my turn. Actually, yeah, I'll move. I kind of like where I'm at though. I move 5 feet just to say he's some movement.
Okay.
Oh, actually, I'll step further away, and I'm gonna get behind the column, see if I can get a little cover.
Okay. Probably very minimal
That's
from
fine.
its current position. Jiri, looks like you are up next.
Alright, bonus action, I will mark this guy as my main target, and then I'm
Perfect.
gonna send 3 air blasts at it.
Okay, go ahead and roll all 3.
Also, my D4 was consumed on my shove.
Oh, true.
28.
28 absolutely hits. Looks like 13 maybe plus stuff. Oh, no, this is your already includes that damage above.
11.
11 will miss, nat 1. And 14 will also impact it harmlessly, not finding a vulnerable spot of it. But the 28
Ooh, but
definitely
that's-
hits.
That's more than 9 because I clicked the wrong one. That should be plus an additional 4, so 2 13s, so 26 damage.
I don't
it
think
should-
the second hit.
Yeah, neither of the second,
Oh,
only the first hit.
my bad.
Yeah, but 13 force damage.
Yes.
It does seem to take that damage. You see it crack a portion of the plate and maybe a splinter a little bit of the wood. So it definitely took damage from that successfully.
Quick turn for me.
Okay, Rome, how about you?
All right. I cast Wall of Stone on the ceiling so that I cover up the cracks in the ceiling to get rid of the light.
Okay. Okay. You are able to do so, knitting from the stone, almost like roots growing, but full stone, sort of create a slightly concave dome-ish around the injured portions of the ceiling, and you fully complete your intent, and there is no more Deginsian light beam shining down onto the battlefield.
Woo! That's helpful.
Turf. Bonus action, hide.
Can't move.
Find the pillar.
Okay. You can, yeah, go ahead and give me a roll.
This thing is dumb.
It's very difficult to break line of sight with this, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, 17. Got it. All right. Anything else for Rome?
That's it.
Okay.
Mission.
As its turn comes, Telperion and Toby Rama see this because of the way you're facing. A mechanism sort of rises in its head space, and with a flip of a lens, you see a mirror occupying the cavity within its shelled head, but there is no light for it to reflect currently. However, it will then, and the flames on its scimitars go out because there's no flame shining down upon it.
That
But
wall.
But it will move forward toward Toby Rama.
The flame bearer.
And even though you are invisible, it seems to track you perfectly. And it will use its multi-attack to make 3 scimitar attacks against you.
19.
18.
First attack. Anything it needs to do there? Nope. Straight rolls. 15 does miss.
What's 11?
13 misses.
The
And 13 misses. How? Paint me a word picture. How is Toby Rama
So Perio's like
dodging these
this the whole
slashes?
time. He's like,
this
"No,
is
no."
totally not how it works, but I think Toby's almost surprised at his own speed, firing off 2 arrows the previous round. Like, there's like he's dodging the same way he's always dodged, but he's just quick enough to get out of the way, where he, in this scenario, often hasn't been.
Dude, I pictured it as like you're rolling, and then each 3 slams down as you're just like flirting away.
Perfect. Well, that will conclude its turn. Start of initiative. Tell Pyrian if you want to make a tactician change. You're welcome. to.
I will put Rome above me. Well, and
Perfect.
yeah, go for Rome.
Okay, so Rome has been moved to in front of you, but Toby Rama, you are still first to move in initiative here.
I got the very reflective vibe off that little thing it tried to do. Like, it was going to reflect all that.
It's
Very
clearly like
harmful.
literally like in the way, if you've ever gone to an
I know
eye
what
exam
we
and they
need
like
to do.
switch the lens, that's what it did. Like a mechanism raised inside its hollow head, and then a lens flipped and would have been ricocheting illumination your way
Well, it's time to
based on where
shadow
it was
this
standing, but there
light.
is no light for it to
Oh, but it did move away.
reflect. Yeah, as you notice, it's not reflecting its own internal
Right.
light.
It's not like it was using the fire to do that. It was okay.
Correct.
I like that. I need to get to the door. I really do, because I need it to reflect the light that we just covered down the hole in the door. So I'm gonna use my action to dash and start moving away from this thing.
Why don't we just kill it?
10,
You could disengage him.
yeah, I won't dash yet. Let's just do this one thing at a time. 5, 10, 15, 20. Let's get there. I saw Jiri's force do good. So I will fire off a very sporadic bow shot as I use my spiritual weapon as a bonus action.
Okay. I will go ahead and place that somewhere. Anywhere in particular?
Yeah, like flanking with me, because I think
Yeah.
it's been able to benefit from. It just
Yes,
hasn't been
that's
able to
true.
grant.
Yes, it cannot grant, but it can benefit from. So yes,
And so
go ahead
I
and
will-
roll with advantage.
Awesome. 18 plus 10, 28 to hit.
Definitely hits.
For a D8, let me check the language on my separate things. I don't think that'll work.
Probably.
Cantrips are weapon attacks, and this is a melee spell attack, not a weapon attack. Okay, so just a D8 plus 5 for 8 force damage.
Your force damage connects with it, and you just hear like a crack of energy from the plate, and it seems to not damage it whatsoever.
And I'm gonna.
Which is odd because it's certainly not immune to that type of damage. Jiri was able to successfully hit it.
I will, in Draconic, say. Help me open the door and see if it responds in any way.
It will acknowledge you, and you just hear, it doesn't have a mouth, but you hear a sound emanate from within it, and in Draconic, Duashkran Kinra, it says, your ears understanding, present the mask.
Well, I haven't used my action yet. I will take the mask off my face, and set it in its outstretched hand.
Okay, you are able to do so. Will that complete your turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Roulette, your turn.
Can I use a reaction to shout something?
Sure. You can just shout
Okay.
for free.
Hold off attacking. I think it's gonna help.
Okay. I don't know. I guess I don't want to pull the. I am going to. One, two, three, four, five, six. Me and my lady are gonna be right over here,
Okay.
and we will both hold an action to attack if this thing still seems hostile. Soon.
Perfect. Bonus action command Daisy to hold her action, and then you're holding your own action. Perfect. Got it. Okay. Rome.
I'm gonna maintain my concentration on
Damn.
oh.
Drat.
I'm gonna maintain my concentration on the ceiling cracks.
Okay. Anything specific with action or bonus action?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna hold off on attacking. Wait to see what happens.
Okay. If that'll do it for Rome, Telperion.
I'm going to get my Mooncrest Greatsword ready. I'm gonna strafe within striking distance, and I will hold my action to swing at this thing if it aggresses me or anyone.
Understood.
And if it seems like it's hostile and not helping us. And I can't split, so I can only do a bonus action. And there's not many I would like to do. I will shove Toby 5 feet forward.
Okay.
Shove me.
And that's my turn.
Jiri.
Ready, action to air blast this thing.
Okay.
Should it become hostile once again, and then I'm gonna get away from the door and hide in the corner. See
Okay.
if it will open said door.
Perfect. Preparing to cast a spell. It will be the golem's turn. The golem raises slowly the mask to its face, but it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. Error.
Oh my god,
And
what?
it drops it. And the 3 scimitars strike out at the 3 closest to him, which includes its reach toward Tobirama. 1 strike at Telperion, 1 strike at Tobirama, 1 strike at Daisy. As it just like... You guys may all unleash your held actions if you wish.
Oh. Never mind, I can't do that. Yeah. I was gonna give disadvantage. I'll roll for Daisy and Roulette.
Okay. And Telperion, you're welcome to attack. Jiri, you're welcome to attack. Tobirama, I don't think
That
you
was
were
it,
holding anything. Okay.
I think I'm flanking with Daisy.
You absolutely are.
Oh,
And Daisy is as well, yes.
and Roulette benefits from Telperion, but
Yeah. That's enough flanking, sure.
Does 19 hit?
I
rolled 2 9.
19 just hits. So you guys can go ahead and roll damage. I'll collect damage rolls from you in a second. I'm going to go ahead and roll its attacks. First at Telperion, second at Toby, third at Daisy. And it is rolling poorly. First one maybe hitting is Daisy, I think, with a 21 to hit Daisy.
Yeah, her AC is like 16 or something.
There is no fire damage associated with these, but it will be 16 slashing damage to Daisy. Now, one at a time, Telperion, what did you do to it? You hit it with a 19. What
13
damage? 13 slashing damage?
with my greatsword.
Okay. You carve into it, and you do see your magical weapon harm it.
The full effect, or the half effect.
To full effect.
Wonderful.
Daisy's attack
Daisy rolled a 27,
absolutely hits.
and she did 6 force. 6 force damage.
Okay. Are you adding anything to that? I just know sometimes you can arcane jolt or something.
So that's what I was gonna ask. Do I get to see that? Like, can I tell if the force damage
I
that
think it's simultaneous with the damage.
she will not do anything then?
Okay.
Yeah.
Her normal force damage is just repelled by this thing's magical resilience. And since you guys have interacted with it a couple times,
Can I guess?
yeah,
Is it single digit?
it is single digit. Yes. Yes, it cannot be damaged than an attack that deals less than 10 damage. But go ahead and roll then for roulette. What was
You
your
also
strike?
rolled a 27 and did 8 bludgeoning.
So that will be 0. That
Do you
will be
arcane jolt
0.
yourself?
No.
Jiri, how about your burst? 27 hit, 26 hit, 24 hit,
Oh, this is
14,
not-
18, 15. All of
47.
those successfully damage it for 47 damage.
I mean, I have a lot of spells.
Very well done.
Dude,
it
you
takes
get to
the
use
brunt
like
of
a
it.
multi-attack on your reaction. That's so cool.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yep. You see splintering wood and damaged gold metal on it. You definitely
Oh.
heavily.
I think I need to break
Impacted it.
my attunement to it, which I'm gonna attempt on my turn here. But
Well, I would say two things, Toby Ramo. With this happening over the course of this turn, two things happened. The mask physically didn't seem to fit into the slot, and now that you've been in close proximity with this thing, and with your high passive perception, on 2 spots of its breastplate, it's etched in there, so it's faint, but you can see a symbol etched in, and it's the same Templar symbol that was etched into the Deginsian Templar's armor.
we got the wrong mask. Or
Do we
did
have the
grab-
other
Yeah, I don't remember if we grabbed the other mask.
Does anyone remember if we?
Who
Where did?
has it in their inventory?
I don't have that mask. This was from like the sub basement where we went to.
Yeah. What was?
Did we loot his that?
I mean, I think it got shoved in the bag of holding. Who has the bag of holding? Because we
Well,
didn't put in. The
I-
bag
I
of
know.
hold.
I know you also looted the wooden scale mail that was maybe gonna be considered by someone.
Oh,
but-
Rome.
Both seemed to be magic items, so I don't think you would have left them behind. So as long as you clarify for me where they are,
In bag of holding.
or
I
the
mean,
mask.
Even if.
'Kay.
Yeah, that's a bag of hold.
Okay, bag of holding it is.
Because it wasn't an
Alright.
item that had a description that we were told, like, not to put this on, Crit didn't tell us, but we didn't know to look like.
We haven't identified
We
it
haven't
yet.
identified.
Yeah, there
That's
was
it.
no identification. Yeah.
That sounds right.
Because Roulette
Okay.
did not have identified yet.
Yep.
So it would just be in loot form in the bag of holding.
So and now that you're assessing the space, that mask might fit in this creature's helm. But as of right this moment, it's top of initiative again. Telperion, you can make an adjustment if you would like, and then it will be potentially Toby's turn.
I'm gonna pull Toby behind. Oh no. I'll leave things as they are.
Okay. Toby.
Cool.
Shit, we need the other mask. Roulette, do you always have the bag of holding on you? I don't remember
I-
if we ever move it
Yeah,
around.
I do. I don't usually hand it off.
I'm gonna go rooting around on Roulette's person, so I'll move,
It's like a satchel on my side. You know where it is.
reach in,
Okay.
other
With it,
mask.
I think generally an action to interact in that way. So with an action, you can run over there and retrieve the mask you're looking for.
And then approach it and object interaction, try and place it again in its outstretched hand.
Okay, you're welcome to place it there again.
Bonus action. What was my movement there? That was like 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Give it one more chance, and Rome potentially be ready to let the light through, and Roulette get out of there.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
All right, Roulette, you're up.
I will do as I'm told. I'm gonna scoot over here. I will hold. I don't have any offensive spells, which I'm realizing.
Cantrips.
Yeah, my fire-based cantrips.
You don't know.
You
You don't know, man.
I was gonna be like, oh, I can use Scorching Ray. Idiot. I will hold Firebolt personally for myself. And then I will have Daisy do what she did first turn, hold invisibility for next person who is attacking the thing.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Rome. Yeah, what you got, Roulette?
I apologize because I should not be able to do that because casting invisibility, I believe, is touch, and I will confirm that. So she should not have been able to do that the very first turn.
That's interesting.
The wand doesn't like grant it range.
No, it's a touch spell. Yeah, it for sure is. So Daisy will also attack if someone's within range. That's it. She'll pick up a rock.
All right, Rome, you are up.
So I'm going to ready myself for the word to drop the wall spell. But in the meantime, I'm going to cast Erupting Earth on the golem. It is a 20 by 20 cube.
Okay.
So I'm going to take it where it's like the corner here so that it doesn't hit Telperion or anybody else.
Okay, you are welcome to cast that. What does it need to do? Is that a save?
It's
from
a
it?
dex save, yeah.
It's very good at dex saves.
Well.
But it does have magical resilience. 13 won't cut it though. So how much damage?
15 points of damage. Not great. Low.
Churn to earth. Blah 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 blah. Additionally, difficult terrain in that area. Okay. Perfect. And of bludgeoning damage, it is magical.
Yes.
You sufficiently damage it. It takes the full 15.
I forgot about the 10 thing as well.
Perfect. It does seem to get injured by that phenomenon.
Yep. Bonus action, Vicious Mockery. You metal tin can. Why don't you just die already?
You get a thought. Oh, never mind.
That will be a fail. It will take 0 psychic damage, but it will get disadvantage on its next strike.
Love that.
Oh, so it is immune to psychic damage, not just the 10.
It is fully immune to psychic damage. But it will have a disadvantage on its next strike. Yes. Okay, and your mind is ready to drop concentration on a moment's notice. Telperion.
I'm gonna do what I did last turn and hold my attack for if it does anything except seemingly help us when the new mask is. Oh wait, aren't we supposed?
I gave it the new mask.
Okay, it has it. We just have to wait to see. I got it. I will push Toby 5 feet closer to the door. And then I will. We need. Okay. Do you need to get anywhere, Toby?
I don't think so. I think he's gonna shine his light through that long ass hole.
Okay.
Well, I don't drop. I would say. Never mind.
I'll say because I'm not gonna do anything else. Rome, don't drop the spell unless it looks like it's trying to angle the shield, the lights towards the door. And then I'll end my turn. Ready to attack.
Okay. Pause for one moment. All right. Jiri, you are up.
Hold action to see if this thing is still being aggressive, and I will blast it with air blast.
Okay. Then it will be the golem's turn. It raises the mask to its head, and it fits, and you see a bright light sort of surround and seal it in place. Welcome. And it will turn, march over some difficult terrain, but it has enough movement to get there. And you hear a mechanism within its head, now covered,
Facing
move,
at.
and you hear a click, and
And
it
I'll,
just stays there.
and I'll shout, drop it.
All right.
I dropped the spell.
All right. As you drop the spell, a beam of light radiates from it through that hole in the middle of the situation. And then you just hear the golem sort of settle in place. No longer a threatening being. And as you hear just what you can only describe as from the door a surge of energy, 2 orbs glow up toward where the people on the reliefs were like beckoning upward to, on one on each door, and then you hear and the doors slide, not disintegrating like many of the doors in this dungeon, but fully opening.
I go pick up my mask and put it back on.
Yeah.
And I will reveal the final chamber.
The what?
The Schmeinel Schmamber.
Oh.
As you approach the area forward, there is still damaging light radiating out and hitting the side face of a concave mirror that is splitting the beam and impacting the where the back end of those panels was, and was triggering some light trigger magic. But there's a mirrored surface that it's hitting up here, which seems to be a sort of raised altar of some kind, and there are additional raised altars to each side of this space. How do you move forward? The golem seems locked in place, and its arms return to their less threatening position and more like drawing from a sheath. And its hand that had placed it is no longer outstretched, but is just like holding a fist to its chest.
Can we move
Does it
into
look
the
like
room?
there's space to crawl
I will
around?
also say that with the radiant light now coming through the ceiling once more, as Rome has released her concentration, every bit of damage you have dealt to it, you see it slowly healing the golem.
We need that.
That would have been a hard fight.
Yes, there is enough space to delicately and carefully duck under or move around the beams of light in that space, in a way that you could navigate that space without too much risk. But there are still damaging light beams in that space.
Do we think, like, can we tell if the light is keeping the door open right now, or if the door is like
The way it's hitting the sides where the door slid into, you do suspect that's the case. We should also hop zooms.
Loot, 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 loot. Give me the loot.
give me the loot, the loot.
I
Duck.
crawl
Who is
in the room.
inspecting what portion of this room? There are
Pretty staff.
three notable items or situations. There's an altar and then two side tables that both bear an item of some kind on them.
Roulette is going into physics mode and is examining the mirror just to like look at it
Look
Sure.
at
and understand the perfect splitting of light that's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. You know that a truly spherical concave surface would disperse almost like a cone effect. So there's definitely clearly a line where it's actually segmented faces that are purposefully splitting the light. So you're able to understand the creation of this space for sure. Nothing innately magical other than magically resistant mirrored glass.
How big is this mirrored glass thing?
Jesus.
5 feet tall. So it's an altar that's like a 5 foot tall altar, but the whole front face of it is mirrored.
Oh, and it's like built into the altar kind of thing.
Yes. Yep.
No
And
dragon.
you do see
Oh.
from that distance there is draconic script on the surface of that altar.
Interesting. I will beckon Toby over at his next availability.
Okay. Who's taking a look at what next?
Pretty staff.
Pretty staff. You see a beautiful staff. And I
Straight
definitely
out of Ren.
but I do have a description for it that I would like to read very briefly. Which I have to flip to this page.
I wish staffs were better in Skyrim. They deserved it.
Yeah, just replicating
This staff
spells.
seems to be created from that same ancient fire and radiant-ish resistant bark-like material, but it's been gilded ornately into the likeness of a dragon along its length, and seems very magical.
I will refrain from pinking it up yet. I'll look for any text on this altar.
There is
and
none
Draconic,
on that altar.
and so I'll go over to Roulette and help her with
Okay.
that.
Okay, before we get to your reading, Telperion looks like you're maybe on that left side.
Yeah, because I did a quick scan when entering the room and just seeing what looked like a draconic staff. I'm curious if, because of the duality of this place, if this item is going to be elvish. Altered.
You see
Nothing.
Is it a cloak or is
a
it
very fine fabric cloak that's affixed to what looks like draconic shaped epaulets, shoulder guards that are cast from pure gold. The fabric itself is this beautiful, deep scarlet ruby red coloration and similarly seems highly magical. And is like set onto like a stand. It's like draped over a stand. It's not like a lump of cloth sitting on a table. There's like a decorative stand on top of it, so it's full height.
No text.
No text.
Begin ritual casting detect magic.
Okay. Jiri and Rome, what are you poking around at?
I'll root around these flames.
No.
I'm just looking around at things that aren't as immediately standing out.
Okay. Go ahead and make an Arcana check for me real quick.
guidance
Eh?
as I lose my shield of faith. +4 for 6.
Oh my gosh.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Fire, the beacon, the braziers of lit fire are very pretty. How about you, Rome? Anything in particular you're paying attention to right now?
Rome is gonna look for anything that might be living in this room.
Okay. Go ahead and make either a nature or survival check. With a 14, you assess the surroundings and get the very quick sense that not only do you not think anything is living, probably nothing could be living in here because this space seems better preserved than most of the previous chambers and has likely been inaccessible at all for who knows how long, perhaps centuries. Tobirama, making your way around to the draconic text you see on the altar, you see what looks like just a very quick like description, like almost like something that would be etched into one's tombstone. And it says in draconic text, disciples of Diginsia are called to defend all that bathe in its light. Sheltered here are the remains of Aralana Solas, along with relics of her ancestor, Halanir Solas. Mastery over energy lingers in their mantle, and the beacon's breath houses a splinter of purest golden flame. And I will throw that in chat.
Totally a light bender.
I'm freaking out right now.
And I'm narrating that as I'm saying it, letting Telpiran hear what sounds like elven names.
Are those elven names? Did I know Solas?
You know Solas very recently because Halanir Solas was mentioned as being the Aranil at the time of the Sundering who was mentioned in Illicent's journal. So this is potentially, here lies the remains of Aralana Solas, perhaps a descendant of that Aranil, along with likely relics passed down from him at some point to a descendant.
Oh my Corellin. This is incredible.
It feels very fitting that at least a portion of the Sun Elves were worshipping the golden moon, whereas the Crescent Knights and people of the Lingate seem more Sehanine and silvery focused. That's really cool. Well, I don't know that we have time to figure these out right now.
I'm taking back. I pulled
10
it.
minutes,
I pulled
10
it
minutes
close.
for sure.
You're welcome to remove the cloak from its stand.
And then I go
One of
and I wanna. I'm sorry.
I was just going to ask, does one of you grab the staff?
I'm beyond chuffed with the new item I just got, so I will leave the staff up to whoever would like it.
I'll toss the staff in the bag for the moment.
I'm gonna. Not that I'm claiming it. I don't want to let this get tossed in the bag. Like this is really cool. So I'm gonna go grab it and say, "May I hold that?"
Give it to me. The staff?
Yeah.
No.
You want? Okay.
It's in the bag.
Sure. Sacred ancestor of the elves in the bag of holding.
More going on upstairs. We will get to this. We will get to this. We're not ignoring.
Ducky Duck, and what was I gonna ask? No, never mind. Yeah. Sneak out underneath the light.
All right.
Can I do one last glimpse? Any hidden carving of text? Any latches on any of the altars? Any such and such?
I will say make an insight check.
Okay. With my airbending die. 16.
It's less of a perception based thing and more of an understanding of what else could we make use of in this space. The only thing that would come to your mind is that if there are remains, if they're intact remains,
I have been prepared.
that could have implications on your capabilities, but you don't know if that's the case or not.
I mean, yeah, do any of these look like coffins specifically? Does the altar with the mirror on it seem...
Coffin-y?
Yeah.
It looks like a large altar, stone made. It looks less ornately gilded than some of the sarcophaguses you've seen in this space, but it's a size that could, in theory, contain a humanoid body.
Is there like a lid?
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
I was about to ask you if you wanted to go rooting around. these
I
processes.
definitely do. 20.
With a 20, you assess that there is very distinctly no lid and no seams. Whether magically made or hewn from physical labor, if there is a body inside, it was entombed in a slate of stone. It's not intended to be delidded.
Do not disturb.
But asking.
Again, I think about some of the things I was thinking about earlier. If we are successful upstairs, your people can come here at a later date and do some work and study and try and understand this. I don't know how urgent you feel, Telperion, to access their remains right now. I have Speak with Dead prepared, like I prepared that today, but
I look at Rome. It would cost you to open this stone, wouldn't it?
Likely.
did you say lightly?
Likely. It would cost me? How do you intend on opening the stone?
If I don't relish the idea of cracking this open, but if you could magically pull apart the stone, we could peer in.
I could look through it, Telpion, for you and tell you what I see.
Would you mind?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that might be better than breaking the rocks.
I would appreciate that, Jerry.
Okay, I'm on it.
Ooh, after you're done with that, I'm going to try and meld into this stone.
All right. Jiri, what are you specifically doing?
I'm activating my X-ray vision and peering through the rock.
Okay. Let's take a closer look, shall we? Well, look at
Good
that.
line.
She seems well preserved. Jiri, you look through, you can sense the hex metal sort of coating your eyes, and rather than obscuring them, availing you of see-through vision, and you're seeing through the stone, and laid to rest there on a simple, ungilded, not unornamented stone slab in a hollow altar is a woman that is just cross-armed, laying face up. Very simple ceremonial white robe on, very, very dark brown skin, beautiful braided, silvery blonde gold hair.
I'll just grab that to Telpion. And I ask if there's anything specific he'd like me to look for.
No, that's a lot.
I'm gonna
I
kind of
don't
move
need to
towards
see
the
it.
faces and attempt to like get a better look at like facial features to see if just to get a memory of like specifically what the face looks like.
Sure.
Does it look she is alive, Jerry?
No, definitely dead.
Got
Yeah, go ahead and give me a. Give me a perception check to like it. Mostly out of curiosity, you're gonna get some facial features for free. It's not super high barrier to entry here. That's fine. Hard to study the face with intense detail from being separated by a little bit of stone, but yeah, I mean, definitely distinctly elvish features, pointed ears, slender jawline and facial features, um, very regal and delicate looking elf woman. And you do think full blooded elf, not half elf.
Try to put the face to memory just in case we see like elf pictures in the future.
Okay,
I can be like, oh, that lady.
perfect.
Could I attempt to meld with this stone to do further investigating of the body?
Oh,
Sure. Yeah, meld with stone. Um,
Pretty neat.
So
Give me a-
essentially, I step into a stone object and I meld myself with it.
meld into stone.
you have become the coffin.
I also think I don't need to see the corpse to ask questions. But again, I don't know if any questions come to mind.
Rome, I will offer you the information of before you do this, I offer you a choice. Meld with Stone sort of specifically says you can't really perceive hearing it with disadvantage. You can't see out of the stone. So you will know that's not available to you if you choose to
Right.
cast this. However, you could get a sense, you could potentially investigate something. So it's just your call. Do you want to continue to go ahead and go through with that spell or not?
Yeah, I just let everybody know. I'm about to become this stone.
Rome, I don't know if you need to. Just if
we
you,
don't.
I don't
Sorry.
think you need to because what Jiri availed us of is enough information for me to know I would very much like Toby to question that corpse. But Toby, do you need to see it? Do we have to open it?
Grant the semblance of life and intelligence to a corpse of your choice within range of 10 feet, allowing it to answer the questions you pose. It must still have a mouth, can't be undead, fails if it's been less than 10 days since it was cast on it.
So I'll clarify something. You don't think you can have an audible conversation through stone.
Yeah.
However,
Rome
What
could
if I
hear
knew-
things
with Rome melding into the stone, she could hear it.
And then wait, can my mind be connected to Telperion and it can be like a triangle?
Potentially.
Okay.
Potentially.
All right, Toby, I'm gonna go into the stone. You ask me questions, and then I will take mental notes of what I hear the corpse say from within the stone.
Okay, do we want to try this endeavor?
Do you want to bio break to think about questions, or do you have questions ready?
I actually do have to pee, and it's been 2 hours.
Yeah, that's perfect. Let's buy break and then come back with some questions and finish this portion out.
I'm gonna go look at the northern lights.
What?
Yeah, they're out.
I don't know what that means.
You have.
He's gone.
Dude, what are these items? I didn't see shit out there.
I thought it was only last night.
It was last night, and then I heard that it was gonna be out tonight again. Around.
You
this
heard
time.
wrong.
I heard wrong, or I'm just too close to the city or something. I don't know.
You done messed up, AA Ron.
Looks pretty pitch black out there to me. That would have been rough. That would have been a rough fight. Having
It
to
would've been
deal
fine.
over 10 damage, immune to some good stuff. I mean, Jiri did 90% of the damage in that so far.
Yeah, we could have won.
Toby, you claimed your mask back, right?
Yeah. I mean, the only other person who would really benefit well with it would be Rome. Well, I guess Jiri could use it, but it's based off your wisdom modifier for a
Yeah.
number of uses. So, like, Jiri could twice a day get an extra attack as part of his attack, which wouldn't be nothing, but
Man, I'd kill for triple attack. Would be nice.
just have Alex cast haste on you all the time.
Have roulette cast haste on you.
I don't know that spell.
Triple attack, next level.
I don't think you're allowed to say that, Roulette. You like know every spell.
I specifically do know haste. Haste is an artificer spell. I just very rarely cast it.
And so your wand can imbue like one of your spells,
Any second level or below artificer spell.
and then the ring can do anything of third level.
Any third, yeah, any
Any third level spell that came.
ooh, I gotta double check.
Or is it
I
like
don't know if
wizard
it's-
based, or
No, I don't know if it's third level. It might just be any spell of a level of which I
you
know.
can cast?
You should get magic missile from the ring.
Why? That's boring.
I know.
I will tell you, spoiler, counterspell is not currently in the ring.
I don't think we're gonna need it today.
I don't think we would need counterspell today, which is why I put a different spell in there that I was going to cast and did not cast.
This has been a cool dungeon.
It's been hot.
It's been hot, he says.
Brett, can you explain one more time?
No.
So, Arlana Solas would have come after Halanir. Halanir was the
In some form, Halanir Solas is the name of the Aranil of the Sunborn elves at the time of the Sundering. Aralana might have been his child or distant relative of some kind. You're not sure what level of lineage, but in theory is a descendant of the Aranil, Palanir Solas.
He was the what's the word for the ruler? Aranil. Okay.
And you know there was reference to another Sunborn house previously in this dungeon too. Gildegard was also Sunborn related.
Solas and Gildegard are Sun Elf. So Elealor houses.
Yep.
And Illicent, what would his family, his name have been, house name have been?
It has not been described.
Okay. Cool. I look at Toby. All right.
Actually, that's not true. I think it was described in the very first paragraph of that journal. I do know the answer to it. If at some point you read the journal, you feel free to reach out and confirm, but there is an answer to that.
Okay.
I will hand Rome my Sentinel shield to try and even out her disadvantage on her hearing checks.
I think we just need to stone shape instead of
I mean,
meld.
that is fine. I don't have it prepared. I don't know if Rome has it prepared.
Yeah, you have stone shape, right?
Wait, why would I do stone shape and not melted
Just
stone?
make a little hole in it.
Mostly, it's because Rome. It's just like a
lid.
casket. So like I don't think you're. If you meld into there, you might be cuddling with a corpse.
So you could just open a hole instead.
Which, if you're into that,
On the
No.
on the counterpoint to that, meld into stone is ritual, which I don't believe stone shape is. So this could save you a spell slot, but
Melding into the stone?
yeah, that's what I'm seeing is ritual. So we could take 10 minutes, or we could do, I think, one higher tier magic and just.
I'm worried you guys are gonna waste. Well, I'm worried it's not gonna work.
Well, I could certainly do stone shape and make a window into the casket. Or actually, wait. If that's the case, then couldn't I just open the casket? Essentially, like create like a doorway into the casket and we could take the corpse out.
Potentially.
Yes.
Do we want to do that?
Yeah, we could just make it like you could
Fit in our corpse hole.
create a seam,
Corpse scoop.
and then we could kind of shove it off. How would you like us to handle this, Telperion?
Well, I don't know what spell you're talking about, Rome.
stone
I was
shape.
talking about stone shape.
So yeah, if you just make a big circle and we can view her. I mean, actually, a seam would be great because then we could like just move it and then put it back on.
A seam. Okay. Yeah. Alright, then that makes the most sense then. So then we can just put her back where we found her, as opposed to like desecrating the body. Since it's clearly being protected for some reason. Okay. I will shape a seam in the rock so that we can open up the casket.
Okay. You go ahead and cast your stone shape spell. Is that a 4th level? And create
is.
functionally a lid. You create this seam so that a lid can be shifted on or off. You see just like little debris almost fall off the tomb as you're creating the seam, and then your magic completes and you feel successful in your endeavor.
Toby, can you preserve her corpse?
Yes.
Would you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that way, while it's exposed to the air.
But
And then I'll
it
go
might
now.
take Big Boy to push it out of the way.
Yeah, I do. Very
Alright.
reverently.
As you do so, You can slowly feel the grinding of the stone, the new lid created, and then you see the rectangular interior. And as Jiri described, Aralana Solas resting very peacefully, skin not much seeing the ravages of time, very beautiful, warm, sort of just a very warm brown coloration to her skin, and then her beautiful, strikingly bright, silvery white hair.
I will go ahead and cast Gentle Repose.
Okay.
Her hair silvery?
Silvery gold, as opposed to the Mooncrest elves, who are generally very pale with dark hair. The Alalor were the opposite, very dark complexions with very bright hair, sometimes golden, sometimes silver, white. You cast Gentle Repose and you feel your magic take hold.
So this is the first Sun Elf I've ever seen.
That is correct.
Yeah.
She does look distinctly similar in appearance to Alathir's presentation when you met them.
Toby, would you mind?
Yeah, I mean, let me know.
Um,
And I mean, I'll cast Speak with Dead, and I'll let MJ. You just ask the questions, and I'll just repeat them. So,
is it 3 or 5?
it should be 5.
Oh, this is very.
Yeah, I think it's 5, yeah.
5 questions. So,
All right, this is
spell
crazy.
marked off.
Okay, I'm not gonna write. I'm gonna write afterward when you upload this. First question. Tell us the story of your. Or could you tell us of your relation to Halinir and what you know of his last days of rule as Erenil?
Silver mist sort of causes her upper portion of her body to become buoyant, like almost as if cradling her head upward slightly. And as she speaks and breathes falsely because of the pervasion of the silver mist, you hear the response. Halinir, father of my mother, Waisadi, one of the champions against the worm.
What
Is your favorite color?
This is crazy. Okay, where do you know the Alalor to have gone?
Separated long ago. The mountains, they fled.
Toby, if you have any advice on asking these questions, I don't usually have to think of these.
I mean, the nice thing is you have 10 minutes to think. You don't have to rapid fire them.
I mean, as everyone's waiting. So, everyone, I want to tell you, this connects with the Illicent Journal that I shared with you, and the Great Worm was what brought about the Sundering, and the weapons we've been chasing were, and what is the word? The blank of the Sunderings?
The emblems of
The
the Sunderings.
And I have a theory that this kind of connects with the king's goal, looking for whatever it might be.
Imbuing divine power.
Because I think the worm's body is where Divinor comes from.
That doesn't contradict what I've seen. I don't know.
So if any of you have questions about the Sundering, this might be a chance we could ask.
I mean, why did the Lealor feel the need to disperse? I'm not asking that. I'm mentally sending it to Telperion so as not to accidentally speak it out loud and have the corpse hear it.
What was the connection between Lightbending and the people of the Ileolor?
Wielders of the ancient tradition. Weaponizing crystallized light.
You could ask when she perished and then follow up with, does she know of any other of her kind?
Yes, I want to give a side apology to everybody because I don't want to make you guys sit here and wait.
No,
These are just like, this is just like a very character campaign long question asking.
Toby will also reassure you that we probably won't be here in 10 days, but this is repeatable after a duration. So not to stress too much over this exact moment.
We do also have less than a minute.
Yeah, we should have
Swap
to.
it.
Already asked about where they went though, so I don't want to do that one again. How did you fall and what was your mission? That's two questions in one. I'm gonna combine those.
Once we get a DM popping in here.
Sorry, I was looking at all of you and just hadn't turned on my camera. Yeah, how do you fit those two into one question?
What is your quest?
In your time, how did the Ileolor view the Ithawinge?
Shame in not staying together. Regret for leaving.
All right, last question. What have I not covered?
Your favorite color?
blue, no yellow.
I mean, you could ask about
Did she die happy?
what was the final key to defeating the worm. I mean, if there was anything that stood out, sundering wise.
Oh, sure.
Why is it not called the Boondering?
We could ask about the emblems of the Sundering.
You could ask
Specifically.
what I think your voice cut out for literally a split second.
We,
but
we,
what's the
we could
question?
ask about the emblems of the Sundering specifically, or Cecilia, or the Blades.
I mean, we could ask specifically if she knows the whereabout of the one that we couldn't find, but I don't know that I would.
Yeah, I don't think she
expect her
would.
to know that. We can also attempt that again at some point.
Yeah. Okay, so how, what regret did you die with?
We chose poorly.
And then you can see the silver mists retreat from her form back into Toby Rama as the source of that magic.
Can I make
she
one
lays at
attempt
rest.
at if there's potential for an insight of if the we meant Alealor or the Golden Order, the Dickensian Order? Try and potentially see if I could sense any distinction there.
Yes, go ahead and roll insight. Actually, no, it's not insight. Go ahead and roll history.
Context. History.
Yes, this is an intelligence-based thing.
15, and I have a +0, so 15.
I think 15 is good enough to understand that if she was speaking about something as her time in the Dickensian Order, that's fully inscrutable. Like, you don't have enough lore context. But if she's saying we as in our people, the Alealor Sunborn Elves, and she's mentioning shame and regret, your mind will also pull you once more to Illicent's journal as some great source of shame and regret swept through their people. So it's not a sense of you getting an understanding of what this person just said,
Right.
but one version of the answer, there's just no way you could know. The other version of the answer,
line
you
up.
have some context clues.
Cool.
Oh.
And if the cloak and the staff have been collected, they are removed from their tables.
I take
Relics of Halinor.
I take like a hair at the stem, just like slice it with a sliver, and I tie it around her finger, and then I want to know what your opinion is, Crit, culturally. I want to take a hair from her in exchange, but like Telperion would know if that's like prime sin in his.
I think you know that is a highly questionable move unless you have a very good reason for it. So it is just it's a delicate thing. If you were to casually suggest you did this to the wrong crowd, they might look at you and regard you a certain way, but in this instance, it probably is like weighing or balancing the scales of worth it versus culturally kind of suspect versus no, this is a meaningful enough moment. It's your call to make.
And I put it, I just really carefully braid it. I wrap it around I put it in a vial for now. For now, as I want to look at my items and stuff before I
Okay.
do things with it. And then I very carefully and reverently put the lid back on the tomb.
Okay. She is laid to rest once more.
Thank you all for waiting. That was very meaningful, and I appreciate it.
Very well. What are you guys doing now?
Well, I think we know the way out.
Yeah.
Heading out.
As you
Yeah, I
As
think we
you-
know the
On
way
the
out.
move.
As you head out, ducking out of the light beams here, the golem sort of, it's like it loses its animation. It just kind of goes, and you see a light fade from within it, and the mask falls off, clattering to the ground, and you hear a voice dying emanate from inside, as if powering down. You hear in Draconic, Toby Rama, the only one who's able to understand, and it says, "Shepherd well."
Okay.
But you guys are able to make your way off this screen back toward here.
Oh, the fucking fire.
Yeah, how much damage do we take or not take on the way out? Who's approaching first?
What
I should
did we
ask.
need? A
So
big
this
chunk of
one-
slag.
This one was melted, or no, this one was stone shaped, I believe, into being blocked. The first one,
Yes.
and there's one.
If that was concentrated on the entire duration, does that make? Oh, that's Wall of Stone. Stone shape
Yeah.
might just be permanent in the already nature of it. So that one is fully capped off and not threatening.
Got another one of those, Rome?
Another one of my wall stones.
No, stone shape.
Yeah, I could do another stone shape.
I think there's just one other one.
Okay. Well, if you're willing to spend the resource on another stone shape, you can
Yeah,
go
I'll,
ahead
do
and
that. I'll stone shape it up.
facilitate a safe exit, and you guys are able to once again enter the sort of elevator carved into the stone, and upon entering it, it gives to your weight and then slowly descends, bring you back to this space. And additionally, in case it wasn't clear before, you recognize now that the Horde Mimic is fully gone, you can see a mosaic set into the stonework below, and you know, similarly to the previous rising of the elevator to this space, you know, if you fill this bowl, that's the way to get back down toward the other direction. The light beam was solely to enact the secret portion of this dungeon. But you are able to functionally head out, finding the staircase at the very south portion of this map, and able to move up and out. As you crest this staircase, you enter a similar space to the space outside the tomb from the front side. A large dais set into the front space with sort of swirling sands. And as you walk out there, about a half dozen or so swirling torrents of primordial energy form into those jackal-shaped sand spirits. But then they all cross their arms and bow their head, all angling and rotating to focus on Toby Rama.
I got the mask.
And they do not assault your retreat. Also, I will also say, Toby Ram, since the exit of this tomb is just like the entrance, just for fun, we'll flip back to an old map
Yeah, there's
for a split
language.
second. In the middle here was some text originally that you guys weren't able to discern because it was written in Draconic. Since you're just passing by, I'll I'll just read what it says on your way out. And it says, "Those who seek the golden flame must endure the test of time." So that's just what you're able to
Sorry,
clock on
Roulette.
your way out.
MK are muted, by the way.
Sorry, Roulette, for enduring the test of time.
What was the test of time?
Darn, you're older
Well,
right now.
You seem to be aged
Oh, yeah.
about 8 years above where you should be.
Was it those who seek to preserve, or what was it?
Those who seek.
Those
the
who
golden
seek the golden flame must endure the test of time. But you're able to continue this path, and it does not continue onto mines like where you had come from. It rather hones into a single, more well-hewn, sort of like a curved archway top tunnel, maybe 10 feet wide or so, 10 feet tall. This is very clearly a sort of hidden exit or entrance from a more formal structure. And it continues for about an hour of just tunnel.
Oh, I wanted to say, before I want to de-attune the staff, and I want to start attuning the cloak.
Okay. Your ritual magic also could have procced at that time, and you got the sense that these are both very potent magical items. But you're welcome, pre-identify, you're welcome to start attuning that. I'll say at the end of this approach in this tunnel, you can add the Mantle of Sorcery to your inventory.
Does anyone want to have been holding the staff?
It's in the bag. I will identify it tomorrow.
Okay.
Unless someone wants it.
Toward the end of your approach down this long tunnel, you come to a wooden wall. Just a flat face of wood in front of you.
I'm just looking at MJ's face.
Does it look like the back? Does it look like the back of a door?
Go ahead and make an investigation
I
check.
bet it's the back of a false bookshelf or something.
You can tell there is a seam that runs along one of the sides and therefore could be pushed if you wished.
Do we think we're safe to open this? Or
I mean, I think now's the time to prep, think. We hope we're near the prisoners, and then from there, release them, help the army infiltrate, win the day.
Win the day.
let's go. I will start pushing the door.
I will do a warding bond on Mr. Telperion.
As you push open this false door, it hits something. It starts creaking for like an inch or two before butting up against like what you think is like a barrel. And as soon as you are pushing this even open a little bit, you're all assaulted with this sour, acrid smell to the air. And it's very familiar to all of you. There's a heavy presence of weird fire to some degree in this space. With a little bit of extra push, you can force the barrel a little bit out of the way and slip into what looks like an unused, very rudimentary, abandoned kitchen space. And it has wood paneling that is the primary construction method of the walls, and there are very thin slits of gap between planks of wood, and you can see that there's flickering firelight past this space, and you can hear a couple coughs and the very muted conversation of like mumbling discourse. but you're currently in like a kitchen space that has been long abandoned. There's dust and disuse. There's no utensils in here, but it clearly served that sort of function at some point. And there are just barrels everywhere. There's empty crates stacked on top of boxes, and there's about a dozen barrels that have this sort of congealed lime green, like kind of goo leaking out the tops of them and through certain striations in their wood.
Can we tell? And I apologize if you said it. Can we tell what this goo is?
Yeah, just because of your interactions with it in the past, you distinctly know this is weird fire. Sort of alchemical napalm, so to speak, which has been heavily utilized by Durast in the past.
So this is their store of weird fire.
Or it's a precaution against the hostages inside here. Like, hey, we've got weird fire set up near the prisoners. Roulette, do you want to pocket all this shit?
I definitely think we should keep it, or at least like make it so that no one else can access it.
Knowing how volatile this stuff is, I just want to do a very quick gut check. Can I, like, if I try to put one of these barrels into the tome?
Probably on the larger side of what a page can hold, but yeah, you could potentially use 12 pages to store 12 of these, yeah.
There's 12 barrels of this stuff.
I was gonna do one.
Yeah, you can definitely use one page to house one barrel, you think.
One per one. I will consider doing that while we are hearing voices nearby. Also, I'm realizing it's almost 10 o'clock. We want to just...
Well, you got head out the corner.
It depends on how much you guys want to poke. There could be perception-y stuff available in the next 5 minutes, but yeah, you can certainly wrap things up here. But
I'm going to make Loaf appear, and I just send him skittering down, like quietly, poking his head around the corner and like flying down a little bit just to scope it out.
Okay.
And if he hears anything, he'll back up. But
Is there like a doorway out of here, like a way out, or is it just four walls?
There's a doorway. With some assistance, Loaf could squeeze through that. But there are crates and stuff barricading the door from easily being opened in and out. But with a little pressure and strength there, Loaf can start sneaking out ahead. You looking through his eyes?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and give me perception with your perception.
She made him an owl. Oh, 22.
22.
Wait, I said owl. I meant eagle.
As Loaf sort of rounds the corner and flutters around as quietly as he can, go ahead and also give me a stealth check for Loaf.
It's +3 to these. 12, 15 total.
15. He flutters around the edge, and looking around through Loaf's eyes, you turn a corner past a tunnel and you see dozens and dozens and dozens of prisoners. Very scrap-based clothing. Simple linen shirt and trousers. Many heavily maimed. You see off in the distance a bunch of Villian. Feathers pulled off of some bird folk. Catfolk and Leonin shaved in certain places. Loxodon with both tusks sheared off. Past them, you see a handful of Selithar warriors. In the distance, you might be able to make out the Nora mercenaries. They're humanoids over there. Can't really see how injured they are. But then, walking amongst the people, you see a man whose silhouette looks somewhat strange and is, for a moment, unfamiliar to you because of the heavily bandaged and seeped through gauze slung around his body, pulled in tight around his torso, that highlights the lack of his entire right sword arm. Your father is walking around throughout the prisoners, investigating, seeing to people's needs, and it has seemed to be the case that he is no longer having his right arm.
The prisoners are right there. All of them.
Off in the distance, you see like a single Durastian guard sitting on a table near some torchlight flickering, that's a mounted torch to the wall, and there are dozens of crates, barrels of weird fire in this vicinity. I'll also say you also see a symbol affixed to many of the barrels, the crates, the whatever sort of boxing supplies construction. There's a specific symbol on most of it, and it looks like an ox with very draconic looking horns, but it's distinctly an ox, but it has like a braided beard.
On the weird fire, or on the like general stuff?
All of it. It seems to be maybe an indication of who supplied all the supply containers to this space. And it's specifically a bearded ox, which you're not sure what that might indicate.
If Mathros is alone, Loaf is gonna, on the ground, go over to him. He's gonna just peck his ankle.
Your father sees it, looks at the soldier with widened eyes, and immediately stomps on Loaf, and Loaf is destroyed. And your vision comes back to you in your Telperian senses around your friends.
I think my father knows we're here.
Well, that might be a good spot to close off this session then. You have made it through the dungeon. You have collected the rather valuable relics available in the secret portion of that dungeon, and you have made it to your allies. You are now all beneath Mersenia with a bunch of very injured, not looking very good prisoners.
But Telperion wants to give you guys food for thought because he's not going to hold this cloak for long. Do you guys want to hear what it does? He can tell you on the walk. It's a sorcery.
Yeah, since you know what it does, everyone can look it up in D&D Beyond. It's the Mantle of Sorcery. But
you guys are going to fight over it. All of you are going to fight over it.
I'm just glad Telperion doesn't want it.
It is funny to me that you're the one who attuned to it, because it is, even if appealing to you, it's the most appealing to everyone else.
Literally, yeah.
Specifically not you.
I mean, Telperion, just because it's Elvish doesn't mean he's gonna grub for it, but like he cares about it. So that was like why he wanted to check out the staff. It's like, I want to see the staff of a Sun Elf, you know. So the Mantle of Sorcery, you guys are gonna be able to use Quicken or Twin meta magic options. So there's 5 charges on it. So there's essentially 5 sorcery.
So you could only do up to a 5th level Quicken or Twinned. Is that how this?
Well, you can do multiple lower level.
Quicken always costs 2 sorcery points to make something a bonus action instead of an action, but Twinned, you have to use as many sorcery points or charges as the level of the spell.
And most importantly, you can change its color.
Most importantly.
Yeah, the golden draconic epaulets are immutable and cannot be changed, so those will always be gold and look like little dragon figurine shaped, but the color of the fabric is alterable every time you cast a spell. Or every time you utilize its magic.
That is juice.
Jerry, you'd be able to bonus action your
puffy armor.
Puffy armor.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could use it for. I have nothing that Twin would work for. So it doesn't make sense to give to Jerry.
Oh, because all of you are like twinning your stuff anyway when you're on.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's kind of true.
I'm sure Twin can't be self, right?
It has to be a target.
So I don't think it would work for anything.
What does that mean? It just means that you double the spell?
Yeah, so like hold person, you could target 2 people. or like
Mm.
Yeah,
blight,
except you
or,
could
like,
you could
can
do that with
already.
an
But, like,
upcast,
blight,
but yeah.
if you use a 4th level or a 5th level blight, you could twin it and hit 2 people without sacrificing the damage of it.
Those would be once per day for the stronger spells.
Right.
But like invisibility, you could twin.
No, don't. I can cast that 8 times.
No, just for example, though.
Yeah.
You could do that on your warp.
Vortex Warp, I can twin it. I could also bonus. I mean, the bonus action thing is, I think, more fun.
You guys are gonna. I'm so excited for you guys to get to use this. You guys quickening spells is gonna be so
I think I'm 3rd in the list for.
I want a black cloak with gold dragons on the shoulders. That sounds cool as
I
shit.
just want it for the draconic stuff.
Toby just has
I
the
can't
mask.
take 2 items out of that dungeon. I can't.
Well, I don't want the mask. So
I will also say, since we're in a moment where we're like peeking out, but we haven't moved, we just had an hour of stuff. If you guys wanted to have ritualistically cast Identify, if someone has that available, you guys could look up what the staff is too. And it's called the Staff